Jessica Pegula just said what everyone is thinking about Alex Eala, and the tennis world is completely losing it. Stop whatever you are doing right now. Seriously, put your phone down, grab your snacks, and get comfortable, because what you are about to hear is going to blow your mind. The tennis world has been buzzing for months. Conversations have been happening in locker rooms, in press conferences, in stadiums from Miami to Dubai to Manila. But now, something has happened that fans have been waiting for ever since Alex Eala burst onto the scene and turned women's tennis completely upside down. Jessica Pegula, one of the most respected, most accomplished, and most straight-talking players on the entire WTA Tour, has come out and said exactly what the world needed to hear. Not in a passing comment, not in a throwaway interview answer. We are talking about a full, sit-down, on-the-record, no-holds-barred celebration of Alex Eala that is going to make every single person reading this either smile from ear to ear or drop their jaw in absolute disbelief. Because when a top 10 player in the world speaks this passionately about a 20-year-old who just arrived on the scene, you pay attention. You stop, you listen, and then you share it with everyone you know. Let us start from the beginning. Let us go back to where this whole thing really kicked off, because to understand just how massive this moment is, you need to understand the journey that led to it. Alex Eala, a girl from Quezon City in the Philippines, trained from the age of 13 at the prestigious Rafael Nadal Academy in Mallorca, Spain. Think about that. 13 years old, leaving home, crossing the world, grinding in one of the most demanding tennis academies on the planet, surrounded by elite talent, day after day, year after year, with nothing but a dream and an absolutely relentless work ethic. She started playing tennis at just 4 years old, and went on to compete in the WTA Future Stars event in Singapore as early as 2016 and 2017, winning the Liana Inspiration Award the first time she attended at age 11. WTA? You read that correctly. At 11 years old, she was already winning inspiration awards named after one of the greatest players in Chinese tennis history. This was never a story that came out of nowhere. This was always a story that was building, quietly and powerfully, towards something extraordinary. And in 2025, the world finally got to see it. At the 2025 Miami Open, as a wildcard entry, Alex Eala opened with a dominant victory over Katie Volinets, then followed it up by eliminating Yelena Ostapenko, then Madison Keys, and then she faced IGA Swiatek, the world number 2, and swept her 6-2, 7-5. Inquirer.net, read that again. As a wildcard. A wildcard. She walked into one of the biggest tournaments on the planet, was given a courtesy entry because her ranking was not high enough to get in on merit alone, and she proceeded to dismantle 3 Grand Slam champions back-to-back-to-back. The tennis world collectively stopped breathing. Social media went into absolute meltdown. The Philippines practically shut down. People were watching matches in the middle of the night, setting alarms, gathering in public squares, tears streaming down their faces, because this young woman in Miami was doing something that no Filipino had ever done before in the entire history of the sport. And she did it with a composure that was almost supernatural. No tears, no hysteria, no theatrics. Just calm, focused, brilliant tennis. And then she walked into that semifinal against Jessica Pegula, and that is where everything we are about to talk about truly began. In that grueling 3-set semifinal, Eala fell short against world number 4 Jessica Pegula, 6-3, 7, 7-5, 3-6, in what became one of the most emotionally charged matches of the entire WTA season. Inquirer.net. But here's the thing, and this is crucial, that loss did not end Alex Eala's story. It was not even close to the end. It was, in the most dramatic and ironic way possible, just the beginning. Because what happened next is the reason you are here reading this right now. Jessica Pegula noticed everything that day. She could not have missed it even if she tried. Here was a player from Miami, a genuine Florida girl playing in her home city, walking out onto the court for a semifinal, and the crowd, the noise, the energy, the passion, almost none of it was for her. It was for the Filipino wildcard on the other side of the net. Pegula, speaking publicly after winning the Dubai Tennis Championships title in February 2026, recalled the moment with genuine shock. She had played Eala when she broke out in Miami, on home turf, and the whole crowd was against her. She was stunned, wondering where all these people had suddenly come from. Tennis 365, a top 10 player, in her own city, on one of the biggest stages in the sport, and she was essentially playing an away game because Alex Eala had already conquered the crowd before a single ball was struck. That is not a fluke. That is not a coincidence. That is star power. That is something that cannot be taught, cannot be manufactured, and cannot be faked. You either have it or you do not. And Alex Eala has it in abundance. Now, fast forward to 2026. Because things did not slow down. If anything, they accelerated at a pace that has left the tennis world breathless. Eala achieved a career-high WTA singles ranking of world number 29 on March 16, 2026, making her the highest-ranked Filipino in WTA Tour history, and the first Filipino to break into the top 30. Wikipedia, let that land. The highest-ranked Filipino in the entire history of women's professional tennis. A ranking system that has existed since 1975. Over 50 years of history, and no one from the Philippines had ever climbed this high. Until now. Until this 20-year-old girl from Quezon City who used to watch Rafael Nadal on television as a child and dreamed of one day following in his footsteps. And the things she achieved along the way to getting there are just as staggering. She reached her maiden tour final at Eastbourne, then won her first WTA 125 title in Guadalajara, becoming the first player from the Philippines to enter the world top 100 and finishing 2025 with a year-end ranking of 50. WTA. She also became the first Filipino to win a main draw match at a Grand Slam when she defeated Clara Torzen at the US Open in August 2025. Cebu Daily News. First Filipino. First in the history of the sport. First at the Miami Open semifinals. First in the top 100. First Grand Slam main draw win. The records are falling so fast they barely have time to be celebrated before the next one drops. But what truly sets this story apart from every other rising star narrative in tennis right now is not just what Alex Eala does on the court. It is what happens around her. It is the phenomenon that follows her everywhere she goes. It is the tidal wave of passion and support and love that she carries with her into every single stadium, every city, every country she visits. And nobody has described it more vividly, more genuinely, or more powerfully than Jessica Pegula. At the Dubai Tennis Championships press conference following her championship win, Pegula was asked about the Filipina sensation, and she did not hold back for a single second. She spoke about Eala's ability to pack stadiums, describing the support from the Philippine community as something truly special, and she made a point of saying that Eala handles all of it with extraordinary maturity and grace. Tennis head, this is Jessica Pegula we are talking about. A woman who has been on the WTA Tour for years, who has played in front of massive crowds at Grand Slams and Masters events, who is no stranger to atmosphere and energy and passion in tennis. And even she was moved enough to publicly declare that what she sees with Alex Eala is something entirely different. Something she has not seen before. Something special. And then Pegula did something that made the tennis world go absolutely wild. She said she wanted to bring Eala onto her podcast. She announced it publicly, put it out there for everyone to hear, and made it known that the Players Box, the show she co-hosts with Madison Keys, Jennifer Brady, and Desiree Crouchick, needed to have Alex Eala as a guest. And when Jessica Pegula says she wants something to happen, it happens. Because it did. The episode dropped, and the internet promptly erupted. The episode featuring Alex Eala as a guest on the Players Box podcast earned more than double the views of its previous 32 episodes combined. The big lead, more than double every single previous episode that show had ever released. And this one, the one with Alex Eala, outperformed all of them put together. Twice over. If there was any remaining doubt about what this young woman means to fans of women's tennis, about the level of interest and passion she generates, that number obliterates it completely. You do not get those kinds of numbers from casual interest. You get them when people genuinely care, when they are emotionally invested, when they feel a connection to someone that goes far beyond just watching them hit a tennis ball. The podcast itself was something truly wonderful to experience. From the very first moment, the warmth and mutual respect between Pegula and Eala was palpable. The conversation covered everything,